Reality not matching your dreams? Stanford's 4-Minute Sigh reprograms your brain. Step into 2026 success right now. Welcome back to Take and Grow. I'm Dr. Silas Kincade, and if you've ever felt like your life is running on autopilot while your biggest goals stay just out of reach, this episode is your turning point. Today, we're diving into a simple breathing practice backed by Stanford research that's already changing lives, and it's perfectly timed for the biggest mindset and performance trends heading into 2026. In just 4 minutes a day, you can shift your nervous system, rewire how you see opportunities, and start living the version of reality you actually want. Stick with me. By the end, you'll have the exact protocol plus real-world ways to make it work for your goals, your business, and your peace of mind. We're going deep, we're getting practical, and we're building something you can use for the rest of your life. Let's start right where most of us actually live. That quiet frustration when you wake up and the day already feels heavier than it should. You have the vision for your life, you have the plans written down, but something keeps pulling you back into the same loop of overthinking, low energy, or that nagging sense that this isn't quite it yet. I hear this from listeners every single week on Take and Grow. The career that looks good on paper but drains you by 10 a.m. The relationships that should feel connected but stay surface level. The habits you start strong on Monday and quietly drop by Wednesday because your mind won't settle long enough to let them stick. That gap between the life you're living and the life you know is possible, it's not a motivation problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's a nervous system problem. Your body is stuck in a low-grade stress state that filters the world through caution instead of possibility. And that's exactly where this 4-minute practice steps in as the game changer you've been waiting for. The science behind it is rock solid, and it's been hiding in plain sight for anyone willing to look. Back in 2023, researchers at Stanford Medicine, including Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. David Spiegel, ran a controlled study with more than 100 participants. They tested one specific breathing pattern against mindfulness meditation and other popular techniques. The results were striking. The group using this pattern showed faster reductions in anxiety, bigger improvements in daily mood, and even measurable drops in resting breathing rate, a clear marker that their bodies had shifted into a calmer baseline. What made it stand out wasn't just feeling better. Brain imaging and physiological data showed real changes in how the autonomic nervous system operated. In simple terms, 2 quick inhales through the nose, followed by 1 long, complete exhale through the mouth, sends a direct signal to your vagus nerve that it's safe to downshift from fight or flight into rest and digest. It's like flipping a master switch that lets your brain stop scanning for threats and start noticing opportunities again. I've spent years studying these patterns in my own practice and with clients, and every time the data lines up exactly like this: real, measurable, repeatable change in under a month. Now, let's translate that science into the exact 4-minute protocol you can start using today. I've refined the Stanford method into a clean, repeatable routine that fits any schedule: morning, lunch break, or right before bed. Here's how it works, step by step, so you can follow along with me right now if you want. Find a comfortable seat or lie down, no special posture required. Set a gentle timer for 4 minutes. Cycle 1. Inhale deeply through your nose, filling your lungs about 70%. Feel your belly expand. Cycle 2. Without any pause, take a second, shorter inhale through your nose to top off your lungs completely. That extra sip of air makes all the difference. Cycle 3. Now exhale slowly and fully through your mouth. Let every bit of air leave until your belly gently draws in and you feel that natural pause at the bottom. Repeat this smooth cycle. Inhale, inhale, long exhale for the full 4 minutes. That's the entire practice. Most people notice their shoulders drop within the first 60 seconds. Your mind starts to quiet. The constant mental chatter softens. I recommend doing this once a day to begin with. If you want faster results, bookend your day with it. Once in the morning to set your state, and once at night to release everything. Try it with me right now for the next 30 seconds. Inhale, inhale, long exhale. Feel that subtle shift? That's your nervous system already listening.
Here's the first big payoff you'll experience almost immediately. That sense of calm creates mental space. When your nervous system isn't busy managing low-level stress, your brain stops filtering out possibilities and starts highlighting them. One listener in his late 30s told me he'd been stuck in a job he hated for years because every time he thought about changing, his mind flooded with worst-case scenarios. After 2 weeks of this breath practice, he sat down, did his 4 minutes, and suddenly the ideas for his next move flowed without the usual resistance. He didn't force it. The calm simply let the right thoughts surface. That's the kind of shift we're building here. Let's go deeper into how this rewires your daily reality across the areas that matter most to you. Your nervous system is the gatekeeper of perception. When it's calm, you literally see more options. You respond instead of react. You make decisions from clarity instead of fear. I've watched this play out in every area listeners care about most on Take and Grow. Take career and productivity first. Many of you run businesses, build side projects, or climb corporate ladders while feeling constantly behind. The 4-minute breath before your deep work block changes the game. Instead of forcing focus through willpower, you arrive at the task already regulated. Your brain enters flow faster and stays there longer. One entrepreneur I coached used it before every sales call. Within a month, his close rate jumped because he showed up relaxed, present, and genuinely confident, the exact energy clients trust. Another high performer in tech told me he used to spend the first hour of his day answering emails in a reactive haze. After adding the breath, he now spends that hour on his most important project, and his output doubled without extra hours. Now, let's talk relationships. How many times have you snapped at a partner or friend over something small, then regretted it later? That reaction comes from a dysregulated nervous system. This breath practice gives you a reliable off-ramp. Do it right before a difficult conversation, and you'll notice you listen better, speak more clearly, and stay connected even when emotions run high. A married couple in our community started doing the practice together each evening. They told me their arguments became conversations again, not because they tried harder, but because both of them showed up calmer. The kids noticed the difference too. Peace at home became the new normal.
Health and physical energy get a massive upgrade too. Chronic low-level stress keeps cortisol elevated, which wrecks sleep, cravings, and recovery. The Stanford pattern lowers that baseline. Listeners report falling asleep faster, waking with more natural energy, and even making better food choices because they're not stress eating. One woman in her 40s shared that after 30 days, she no longer needed her afternoon coffee. The breath gave her steady energy instead. Another listener reversed his afternoon crash completely and finally stuck to his gym routine because he wasn't fighting exhaustion anymore. Financial decisions work the same way. When you're calm, you spot opportunities instead of risks. You negotiate better. You invest with clearer thinking. The practice removes the emotional charge that usually clouds money moves. One listener used it before reviewing his budget and suddenly saw 3 clear ways to cut unnecessary spending without feeling deprived. He redirected that money into the investments he'd been putting off for years. I want to share even more real stories so you can see how this spans across different life stages and situations. A 28-year-old software developer felt trapped in burnout. 4 minutes every morning before coding sessions helped him rebuild the creative spark he thought he'd lost forever. A 52-year-old executive used it to prepare for board meetings and finally felt like the leader she knew she could be, instead of the imposter she sometimes feared. A single mom juggling 2 jobs did the practice in her car between shifts and said it gave her the patience to be fully present with her kids when she got home instead of short-tempered. A college student preparing for finals used it between study blocks and raised his GPA by nearly a full point because his retention and focus skyrocketed. These aren't cherry-picked miracles. They're the natural outcome of showing up consistently for 4 minutes. Let's talk integration so this becomes effortless instead of another thing on your to-do list. The key is stacking, not adding. Pair it with habits you already have. Do it while your coffee brews. Do it during your commute, eyes open, of course. Do it right after brushing your teeth at night.
The beauty is its simplicity. No apps, no gear, no perfect conditions required. If you travel, do it on the plane. If you're a parent, do it while the kids are getting ready for school. The practice meets you where you are. For those of you who want to go further, here are 3 powerful ways to stack it with 2026's biggest growth trends that I see coming strong. First, combine it with light movement. A short walk right after your 4 minutes turns the calm into momentum and amplifies neuroplasticity. Second, layer it with intention setting. Spend the last 30 seconds of your practice visualizing one specific outcome you want in the next 30 days. The calm state makes that vision land deeper in your subconscious. Third, use it as a reset between tasks. High performers in 2026 won't be the ones working longer hours. They'll be the ones who stay regulated while everyone else burns out. This breath is your secret edge when AI handles the repetitive stuff and you focus on the human magic. Of course, no practice is perfect from day one, so let's cover the common obstacles and exactly how to solve them. Some people feel lightheaded at first. That's normal. Slow the exhale slightly and it passes within a few sessions. Others say their mind wanders. Totally expected. When you notice it, gently return to the breath pattern without judgment. That return itself is part of the rewiring. If motivation dips, remember this: you're not doing it for a feeling today, you're doing it for the person you're becoming in 2026. Track one simple metric, how you feel on a 1 to 10 energy and clarity scale before and after. The numbers don't lie, and they become your motivation. Let's build a full 30-day plan together so you have a clear path and never feel lost. Days 1 to 7, just do the 4 minutes once a day at the same time. Notice any immediate shifts in mood or sleep. Write one sentence in your notes app each day. Days 8 to 14, add the morning and evening bookend sessions. Start journaling one sentence about what felt different in your interactions or decisions. Days 15 to 21, layer in one stack, either movement, intention, or task reset. Watch how your default responses change in real time. Days 22 to 30, choose one life area, career, relationships, health, or money, and intentionally use the breath before every decision in that area. Document the results at the end of each week. By day 30, you'll have data from your own life proving this works. And the best part? The changes compound. What feels like a small daily habit becomes a completely different operating system for your mind. Now let's look further ahead to the 2026 reality you're actually building. Imagine waking up without the usual mental fog, walking into meetings or conversations already grounded, making decisions from possibility instead of pressure, attracting opportunities because you're showing up as the clearest, calmest version of yourself. This isn't fantasy, it's the predictable outcome of training your nervous system daily. The breath practice is the bridge between the version of you that's stuck and the version that's already living the upgraded life. Take a moment right now, wherever you are, and do one full cycle with me. Inhale, inhale, long exhale. Feel that? That tiny shift is the seed of everything we've been talking about. Do it again tomorrow and the day after, and watch what grows. Do it for 30 days, and you'll look back and barely recognize how far you've come. You now have the complete toolkit, the science, the exact steps, the real-life applications across every area that matters, the stacking strategies for 2026, the troubleshooting, and the 30-day plan that turns knowledge into transformation. The only missing piece is your consistent action. Right after this episode, set your first 4-minute timer and begin. Then come back to the comments and tell the community what shifted for you in the first week. Your story might be the one that inspires someone else to start. If you want more science-backed, actionable tools like this every single week, tools that help you think deeper, act smarter, and live better, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Share this one with a friend who's also ready to close the gap between their dreams and their daily reality. Thank you for spending this time with me on Take and Grow. I'm Dr. Silas Kincade, and I'm genuinely excited to see the version of you that emerges from these small daily breaths. Keep taking the steps that create massive change. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, breathe deep, dream bigger, and go build the 2026 life that's already waiting for you.